Audrey Mestre, freediving record attempt. Audrey Mestre was one of the best freedivers in the world. She could hold her breath for over 8 minutes. In October 2002, she attempted the impossible, descending 171 meters without any breathing gear. The plan was simple. A weighted sled would pull her down. At the bottom, 560 feet deep, she would inflate a lift bag with a small air tank, and that bag would rocket her back to the surface. But when she reached the bottom, she discovered the nightmare. The air tank was empty. There was no way to inflate the bag. Divers above waited. Seconds passed. Then minutes. Something was wrong. By the time her support divers realized what had happened and dove to rescue her, she had been underwater for more than 8 minutes without air. Audrey was pulled to the surface unconscious, her face pale, her lungs filled with water. They tried everything, resuscitation, CPR, but she never opened her eyes again. The most chilling part? She was so close to breaking a world record, but one technical mistake cost her life. Father and son, eagle's nest sinkhole drowning. It was Christmas morning. While most families were unwrapping gifts, 35-year-old Darren Spivey and his 15-year-old son Dylan were preparing for an adventure. The night before, Darren had given Dylan an early present, scuba tanks. It wasn't just a gift. It was a father's dream to share his passion with his son. But instead of a safe dive at their usual spot, Darren chose somewhere far more dangerous. A hidden pond in central Florida, calm and still on the surface, but beneath it, a place divers call the Mount Everest of caves, Eagle's Nest. As they walked to the water, they passed large signs warning that this site was for expert cave divers only, with strong reminders of the deaths that had already happened there. Dylan wasn't even certified yet, but they suited up anyway, excitement outweighing caution, and slipped beneath the surface. The descent started well. The entrance opened into a vast underwater chamber called the ballroom, so large that when your light hits it, the walls vanish into blackness. A grim Reaper sign marks the point of no return, but Darren and Dylan kept going, deeper and deeper. Hours later, Darren's fiancée waited for a call that never came. Panic set in. Rescue divers entered the cave, their beams slicing through the darkness. Near the ceiling, they spotted Dylan, his body floating lifeless, regulator out, tanks empty. Not far away, on a sandy slope at the bottom, they found Darren. Their gauges told the truth. They had plunged to 230 feet, far beyond their limits. Down there, nitrogen narcosis sets in. Your mind clouds, like being drunk underwater. Investigators believe Dylan ran out of air first, showed his empty gauge to his father, and Darren tried to share what little he had left, but it wasn't enough. In those final moments, a father desperately tried to save his son, and a son desperately tried to reach the surface. Neither made it out. Eagle's Nest has claimed many lives, but Darren and Dylan's story is one of the most haunting. A reminder that even the calmest water can hide the deadliest traps. Nam Talu Cave tragedy. It was meant to be an ordinary cave tour, a quiet adventure through Thailand's stunning Nam Talu Cave, known for its shallow streams and glittering limestone walls. On October 13th, 2007, 9 people stepped into that cave, 6 tourists and 2 Thai guides. The group included families from Switzerland, a 10-year-old boy from Germany, and a teenage girl from the UK. The weather was calm. The sky above the jungle was clear. To them, it was the perfect day for exploration. But what they didn't know was that far upstream in the mountains, heavy rain had begun to fall, rain that would soon become their worst nightmare. Inside the cave, the group followed the twisting passageway, the stream underfoot rising just slightly. The guides noticed the change but assumed it was nothing unusual. Then, Deep inside the system, the sound began, a low, distant roar. Within seconds, a wall of brown, churning water exploded through the tunnel. The cave became a trap. Water rushed in with unstoppable force, filling every passage. The guides shouted for everyone to climb, but the tunnels were narrow, the walls slick. In the chaos, lights went out, screams echoed, and the current tore people away one by one. When rescuers finally entered the cave hours later, they found only one survivor, a teenage girl from the UK. She had climbed onto a narrow rock ledge above the flood and waited there alone, in the dark, for more than 16 hours. 8 others, including both guides and the young German boy, had drowned. The tragedy shocked the nation. Officials sealed Nam Talu Cave and declared it off-limits during Thailand's rainy season. The Nam Talu Cave disasters remain haunting reminders that nature doesn't give second chances. The cave looks peaceful, beautiful even, but behind that beauty lies a silent promise. The water will always return,